Welcome to the Greenstar installation video. Today we'll cover proper installation and setup of the Greenstar boiler. The Greenstar boiler has over a 20-year history in the highly competitive European market. It's the #1 selling boiler in the UK, a market 7 times larger than the US hydronic market. Its small footprint, versatile installation, and superior control package make this the ideal product for both replacement and new installations. As far as heating and hot water requirements are concerned, every household is different. This is why the new Bosch Greenstar range is available in 2 types of boilers: a combi boiler and a regular boiler. A combi, or combination boiler, is a high-efficiency water heater and space heating boiler combined within one compact unit. Water is heated directly from the mains, eliminating the need for a hot water storage tank. The regular boiler, sometimes referred to as traditional or conventional boilers, are suitable for homes that already have traditional heating and hot water systems that require a separate hot water tank. Regular boilers are also compatible with solar water heating systems to bring you the added benefits of environmentally friendly hot water and further cost savings. The Greenstar line consists of 6 boilers, 4 of which are space heating boilers, and 2 are combi. The Greenstar regular boilers are available in 57, 100, 131 and 151,000 BTU capacities. The Greenstar combi boilers are available in 100 and 151,000 BTU capacities. Please note, the maximum domestic hot water flow at a 72-degree rise for the combi 100 is 2.65 gallons per minute and 4 gallons per minute for the combi 151. Keep this in mind when sizing these boilers. The model numbers and part numbers for each boiler is noted at the top of this chart. Please note, if you would like additional boiler specifications, all Greenstar boiler installation manuals, brochures, and spec sheets are included in this training video. To download them, just click on the Attachments tab located on the left-hand side of this screen. This installation video will detail the combi boiler in 2 types of applications. The first is a single loop using low-pressure baseboard heat and the FW200 as a room controller. The second is a common primary-secondary loop with third-party zone control valves. The Greenstar boiler is one of the most versatile and efficient boilers on the market. It is designed to efficiently heat and control multiple applications such as baseboard, panel radiator, radiant floor, and even solar thermal systems. For more details on designing this boiler per your application, please review the applications manual located in the Download tab of this presentation. When designing any efficient system for a modulating condensing boiler, it is important to size the system in order to capture the latent heat that is wasted as part of the exhaust stream. The following graph represents the efficiency of any condensing boiler relative to the boiler inlet temperature. The condensing range is on the left, and the non-condensing range is on the right. You'll notice that hydronic systems designed around higher water temperatures may not provide inlet water temperatures low enough for a condensing boiler to actually condense its flue gases during much of the operating time. This loss of efficiency represents 10% of the original energy content of natural gas. When you receive your boiler, it will come on a pallet with 2 boxes. In one box you'll find your boiler, set of documents for the appliance which include the installation manual, the mounting template, and the warranty registration card, a mounting bracket with mounting kit, a gas conversion kit for propane, and an adapter for connecting the low water cutoff, a hydronic connection plate, mounting hardware and fiber washers for the hydronic connection plate, electrical connection box, FW200 and outdoor reset control, with mounting kit and outdoor temperature sensor, documentation for outdoor reset control including operation instructions for the user. In the second box, you'll have an external supply temperature sensor, or also known as NTC, a venting kit including a flue gas adapter and a vent flange with gasket and screws. The outside product dimensions are the same for both the heating boiler and the combi boiler. When selecting the installation location for the boiler, follow the current national and local codes and regulations. Observe installation instructions and clearances of the venting system. Keep combustion air free of corrosive substances. Select a suitable location that can support the 100-pound weight of the boiler, and verify minimum side clearances of 4 inches. Once you determine your installation location, the first step is to square and level your boiler. Start by removing the mounting template included in the boiler documentation packet. Level the mounting template and then secure it to the wall, making sure you have the correct clearances on the left and right side of the boiler. Next, mark the hole locations for the hanging bracket at the top of the boiler and the hydronics connection plate at the bottom of the boiler. Drill the appropriate size holes in the hanging locations and secure the brackets to the wall. Make sure they're level. The benefit of using the hydraulics connection plate is that it can be installed long before the boiler, thus allowing contractors to pre-plumb the heating supply return, domestic cold and hot, and gas lines, all while keeping the installation clean. The hydronics connection plate for the combi boiler has 5 connections. Starting from the left, first is your heating supply 1-inch NPT connection. Second is your domestic hot water 3/4 inch NPT connection. Third, and in the middle, is your gas 3/4 inch NPT connection. Fourth, your cold water 3/4 inch NPT connection. And the fifth is your heating return 1-inch NPT connection. To help facilitate piping, all hydronic connections can easily be separated from the connection plate by removing the pipe clip. The next step is to make your gas line connection. The gas line connects to the center pipe on the hydronics connection plate. Please note that there must be a minimum of 10 feet of 3/4 inch black iron pipe or 10 feet of 1-inch CSST between the appliance and the regulator. This ensures that the appliance will see no more than a 1-inch pressure drop between a gas regulator and the appliance when the gas valve opens. This applies to both propane and natural gas. The installation of service valves in the supply and return connection is recommended. These valves are important for proper system commissioning and future service calls. The domestic cold water in and hot water out are 3/4 inch male connections. The flat plate heat exchanger located inside the combi boiler may require descaling down the road, so we recommend installing service valves on the hot and cold side of the boiler. A temperature and pressure relief valve is included with the service valve kit. Plumb this valve so that it is within 6 inches of a floor drain or per the requirements of your local code. The next step is mounting the unit to the wall. First, remove the cover by undoing the screws at the base of the cover. Next, lift the strap and remove the cover towards the front. Slide the fiber washers onto the hydronic connection plate. Note that spare fiber washers are provided. Next, hang the appliance on the mounting bracket and then tighten the pipe connector union nuts. The next step is to install your condensate and pressure relief valve lines. A 1/4 inch air gap is required for a condensate drain. Route the lines to a condensate neutralizer or into a pump that discharges into a suitable drain. Please observe all applicable local codes. The pressure relief valve comes factory installed with a CGA approved gray composite discharge hose. This must be piped to a suitable location where it can drain safely if it discharges. We have it piped to a floor drain. Venting examples are shown in the installation manual in section 5.8. Please refer to this as your installation reference. When determining venting location, please follow all venting guidelines in the instruction manual as well as the NFPA manuals. The Greenstar boiler has 6 venting options, 3 vertical and 3 horizontal. The maximum venting length with 3-inch PVC is 100 feet, including fittings each way. That's 100 feet of exhaust and 100 feet of intake. It's also possible to vent with 2-inch PVC pipe. Use the following chart to determine the maximum combined pipe length in relation to the number of elbows installed. The boiler can also draw room air for combustion. However, you must have 50 cubic feet of air for every 1,000 BTUs of input. To install the vent kit, first line up the gasket with the vent flange, peel off the paper, stick the gasket to the vent flange, and screw the adapter to the top of the boiler using the screws supplied. Once that is done, insert the flue gas adapter as far as it will go into the vent flange. Be careful not to roll the gasket. Depending on your venting strategy, the intake pipe can either be located on the left or right side of the exhaust. Please refer to the installation manual for exact venting scenarios and diagrams. The FW200 room sensor provides indoor temperature feedback to the boiler. This allows for compensation for internal heat gains such as large groups of people, cooking, solar gain, wood stoves, fireplaces, lighting, and other sources of heat. The system compensates for internal heat gains by lowering system water temperature, maximizing comfort and efficiency. This is generally used in conjunction with a constant or near constant circulation system. The accuracy of the FW200 is dependent upon the installation location. Any radiator in the same room as the FW200 should not have a thermostatic radiator valve fitted to it. The FW200 should be installed so that the overall temperature of the property is monitored, for example, hallways or stairway landings, and not be installed in a room with supplementary heating. To install, remove the top cover plate from the FW200. Once the top plate is removed, slide the FW200 control up and remove from the base plate. Fix the FW200 base plate to the wall using the supplied anchors. Once mounted, connect the two 18-gauge wires to the terminals BB. Once the wires are connected, then replace the FW200 to the base plate, slide down, and replace the top cover. These wires will run back to the boiler and connect to the terminals labeled BB within the Heatronic. The outdoor sensor is located in the same box as the FW200 control. This unit must be mounted on the north side of the house out of direct sunlight. Hold the black box off the white cover and remove the black cover. Once removed, mount the housing on the outside wall with the supplied screws. Next, connect the two 18-gauge wires to the terminals. Replace the cover back onto the housing and replace the white cover. These wires will run back to the boiler and connect to the AF terminals on the Heatronic controller. To connect the supply sensor, remove the sensor from the bag. It is supplied with a clamp to be attached to the supply pipe. Place the sensor on the supply pipe and tighten the clamp around it. Run the lead from the sensor into the boiler and connect the white connector with the blue wires coming from it. To remove the back cover plate of the Heatronic, there are 3 screws that need to be removed. Once removed, the cover pulls straight up and out. Located on the back of the cover is a spare fuse if needed. On the left side, with a pair of needle nose pliers, remove the plastic block for the low voltage wires. On the upper left side of the control, there will be a gray terminal block. This is where we'll connect the BB wires from the FW200 and the AF wires from the outdoor sensor. As an option, the jumper may be removed and a dry contact heat demand can be connected in its place on terminals 2 and 4. To connect the main power in, use the supplied white Molex connector. The connector is labeled as to where each wire will be placed. Push the wires into each corresponding slot and tighten firmly with a small screwdriver. To install the electrical plate under the boiler, there is a screw on both sides of the plate that gets screwed into the boiler from the outside. Finally, connect your Molex plugs. Each Molex plug is keyed. Connect each plug to its corresponding connector. Then slide the grommets into the locations as shown. Once this is complete, the cover panel can be screwed in from the bottom on both left and right sides. When installing a multi-zone system, primary-secondary piping is necessary. Primary-secondary piping isolates the system flow from the boiler flow and prevents the system from influencing boiler performance. In this application, we've used closely spaced tees made by Webstone. In order to wire the system, connect 18-gauge 2-conductor wire to the isolated end switch on the zone control panel. Remove the jumper between pins 2 and 4 on the boiler heatronic control panel. Run this wire to the 2-4 connection on the low voltage terminal strip. This system runs on pure outdoor reset without room feedback on the heating curve. The FW200 installed on the boiler adjusts the heating curve according to the outdoor temperature. The third-party room thermostats turn the boiler and the zone pumps on and off based on the conditions in the living space. To connect the low water cutoff, remove the pipe clip from the plug in the supply pipe. Once removed, the plug will pull straight up. Connect the low water cutoff to the adapter provided and push back into place and reinstall the clip. Run the wire down to the grommet with a fan wire running through it. Poke a hole in the grommet and push the wires through. Once pushed through, connect the power wires to the transformer. Make sure to connect to a solid earth ground. The yellow wires are connected inside the heatronic. The orange plug with a jumper from terminals 8 and 9 can be removed. Remove the jumper and connect the yellow wires in terminals 8 and 9 and replace the plug back onto the board. Next, we want to check our gas pressure. All Greenstar boilers are shipped natural gas ready. A test port has been provided on the inlet side of the gas valve. The gas valve will be on the far left side of the boiler. Shut off the gas and power before performing this check. On the bottom left of the valve, you will see 2 flathead screws recessed into the gas valve. Loosen the lower screw 2 to 4 turns, but do not remove it. Slide your manometer tube over the test port and turn on the gas. If you're using a slack tube manometer, zero your manometer and add the difference above and below 0. This will tell you your incoming gas pressure. If you're using a digital manometer, attach your extension tube to the gas valve and read your digital display. For natural gas, you'll need a minimum incoming gas pressure of 3.5 inches water column and a maximum of 10.5 inches water column. The ideal incoming gas pressure is 7 inches water column. For propane, you want to see 8 to 13 inches water column with an ideal pressure of 11 inches water column. All Greenstar boilers are shipped natural gas ready. To convert to propane, locate the propane conversion kit. Inside this kit, you'll find the propane conversion instructions, propane code plug, and the conversion label. Reference section 11 in your installation manual and verify you have the correct code plug per your boiler model number. To remove, release the clip holding the natural gas code plug and pull gently. This will remove the natural gas plug. Install the propane plug and tug on it gently to make sure it's properly seated. Secure the code plug to the boiler using the supplied connector and install the electrical service cover. To prepare for combustion testing, remove the gray seal from the gas supply throttle. This is where you'll be adjusting the high fire setting. Note the plus-minus signs on the throttle. These are indicators to assist you when making adjustments. Verify all settings for natural gas or propane with a digital combustion analyzer. Prepare your digital combustion analyzer according to the manufacturer's instructions. Verify that it's set up for the proper fuel. In this example, we're testing for propane. For propane, at maximum output, CO2 should be at 11%, and oxygen is 4.2%. At minimum nominal output, CO2 should be at 10.4%, and oxygen at 5.1%. For natural gas, at maximum nominal output, CO2 should be at 9.4% and oxygen at 4.0%. At minimum output, CO2 levels should be at 8.6% and oxygen at 5.5%. Remove the supplied test plug from the flue. Insert the probe. To enter the chimney sweep or burner test mode, press and hold down this button for 5 seconds or more until the display changes. The display will change to 2 sets of dashes. These dashes will alternate with the current boiler temperature. To get into high fire mode for combustion testing, press and release the chimney sweep button 1 time. Watch your meter for changes in combustion and allow the readings to stabilize. To get into low fire mode, press and release the chimney sweep button once more. You will see 1 set of dashes. The low fire adjustment is made on the gas valve using a 4mm Allen wrench. Do not leave the Allen wrench in place when making adjustments. As you can see from the combustion analyzer, we are at 10.4% CO2. To return to normal operation, press and release the button 1 last time. This will return you to normal operation. Next, remove the propane label from the propane conversion kit and place over the natural gas label. This will complete the propane conversion. The Greenstar has a very simple maintenance protocol. An annual inspection is strongly recommended. A thorough visual, safety, and combustion test should be completed prior to the start of each heating season. A physical cleaning of the heat exchanger may be required every 5 years. This is something that can be easily determined by a visual inspection and a combustion test. If mechanical cleaning is required, Bosch offers the Service Accessory Kit, which includes main heat exchanger gaskets, a heat exchanger brush, and a heat exchanger cleaning blade. In order to prepare for inspection of the heat exchanger, shut off the electricity and the gas. Remove the condensate trap and place a suitable container underneath. Remove the wires from the high limit primary sensor, spark igniter, and flame sensor. Remove the 2 10mm nuts that hold the access plate in place. Then remove the access plate and the heat shield. With a cleaning blade, clean the heat exchanger block from the bottom to the top. And then with a brush, clean from the top to the bottom. Rinse the heat exchanger with water from the top. Clean the condensate tray and then reassemble the heat exchanger by installing the heat shield and the access panel. Note, always install a new gasket after cleaning the heat exchanger. After cleaning the heat exchanger, perform a combustion test to verify the performance of the appliance. When commissioning a Greenstar boiler, we recommend filling out the commissioning log located in Section 17 of the installation manual. Filling out the commissioning log can go a long way in assisting the contractor during the annual inspection of the boiler. It will allow the contractor to see what, if any, parameters may have changed over the course of the heating season. Careful attention to this log will allow the contractor to see changes over the life of the boiler, which may influence how they approach maintenance and service issues. The first step to commissioning your boiler is to determine your water supply and fill locations. In this installation, we've chosen to use the domestic cold water supply going into the flat plate heat exchanger and a fill location on the heating return side. Check your local codes to determine if a fill and backflow preventer is required. Please note that unsuitable fill and makeup water can result in the heating system scaling up or failing prematurely. Always treat your fill and makeup water when the water hardness is above 9 grains of calcium carbonate per US gallon and the pH value is less than 7 or greater than 8.5. Cleaning and treating a heating system, even a new one, will increase the performance, reduce fuel bills, and extend the life of the boiler and associated components. Cleaning the system will remove flux, solder, excess pipe dope, cutting oil, and other impurities that can reduce system performance. When using a chemical cleaner, make sure to follow directions provided by the manufacturer in regard to usage and, if necessary, disposal. Only use chemicals that have been approved for use with the Greenstar boiler. For more information, refer to Section 5.1 of the installation manual. When using a pump flushing system, make sure to connect all hoses and follow the pump manufacturer's instructions in regards to fill levels and flow direction. Once the system has been cleaned, add the inhibitor package following the manufacturer's instructions. The following anti-corrosion inhibitors and concentrations are approved for use with the Greenstar boiler. Once finished, pressurize the system from 14 to 21 psi, as indicated by the green area on the boiler pressure gauge. Next, turn power onto the boiler. Make sure that the system has been filled with water and the service switch and circuit breakers are in the on position. Press and release the round button in the upper left-hand corner of the Heatronic control. When you first initialize power to the Heatronic, the unit display will flash, alternating between what looks like a percentage sign and the temperature from the primary sensor. This will last about 8 minutes. During this process, the boiler's pump is pulsing, eliminating air from the system, primarily from the boiler's heat exchanger. At this time, it would be necessary to open the high vent located next to the circulator. Close it again when the purging sequence has finished. For the next 15 minutes, the boiler will run on low fire. This is done to force the boiler to condense and prime the condensate trap. This low fire sequence can be overridden in a combi boiler by turning on the domestic hot water, or for both combi and regular boilers by using the chimney sweep feature. There are 2 dials located on the front of the boiler. One is for the maximum boiler temperature, and one is for the domestic hot water temperature. Approximate settings for each are found in the instruction manual. When you set a domestic hot water temperature, the green LED display will alternate between the maximum allowable temperature of the flat plate heat exchanger or the indirect storage tank. When using an indirect tank, this knob will be set to the tank temperature. For the combi boiler, this setting is the maximum temperature. On the face of the Heatronic control is a button labeled Eco. This is the economy comfort button. When the unit is in economy mode, the boiler and flat plate heat exchanger will go cold until the next demand for domestic hot water or heat. If you press the button and turn the light off, the boiler will operate in comfort mode. While in comfort mode, the boiler will maintain temperature in the boiler and flat plate heat exchanger. This will minimize wait time for heat and domestic hot water. However, it will use more fuel. After your domestic hot water loop on the combi unit has been flushed for the first time, you may notice a reduced water flow through the flat plate heat exchanger. If this happens, a filter screen located on the cold water inlet to the heat exchanger may be clogged with pipe dope, solder, or other debris, and it may be necessary to remove and clean this filter. To remove, close and depressurize the cold water pipe. Remove the safety clip, pull out the pipe, and remove the filter from the pipe. If necessary, clean with a plastic brush under running water. Operation of the unit without this protective screen may void warranties.